if you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes.
To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will give you 500.
Sure, this one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
It's another episode of your daily program, The People. I'm your host, Emmanuel Ajayi, right here at Odejobi in Agege, Lagos, sampling the opinions of Nigerians on topical matters. This time around, it's a market survey, and we're getting to talk to Nigerians concerning events and how much they are selling things in the market at this time. Well, as your man on the streets, giving the voice to the voiceless, let's go into this particular market to get the pulse of Nigerians on this matter. See you more on the streets. Okay, this is your 1K. You enjoy it?
For real?
You enjoy it? Okay, how much will you buy this one now?
Well, normally in the olden days it's not that expensive, but for now it's much expensive. Everything like this is just 200.
Are you sure that you'll be satisfied after eating this?
I have no choice now, just too easy to hold my belly.
Just to hold belly, or you go drink water to Atura?
Everybody know, that's the compulsory subject.
Really?
Yeah.
So, why is it like this now?
It's based on the, let me say, that's how we see everything.
Well done, Mama. How much be pepper now?
Pepper. What you want you? Tomatoes 15,000. Tatache 7,000.
Okay.
Ataro 1 bag.
How much did they buy before?
Before 5,000, 6,000.
Customer they come?
They come, no come. Customer no come.
Customer no come. So how you can't they take it when the customer no come?
Na God do.
Na God.
Manage. You go manage.
Okay, they move.
Market is dull.
So how much will this salt?
It's 50 naira.
50.
Yes.
If I want to buy it before, how much will you sell it?
We are selling before 50. We are selling before 30 naira. But now it's 15 naira.
Oh, okay. Now are you seeing more customers?
We don't have much customers.
Why?
People were shouting there is no money.
What don't know? How market?
I thank God.
Market they move?
We thank God, sir.
Nah, you just say thank God. Market they move?
Because it's not moving as we can say it is well.
If I want to buy any of this jacket now, how much are you selling?
Yeah, we have one of 6,000, we have 10,000, we have 9,000, we have various like that.
Okay. Are you seeing customers?
Well, I saw one today, sir.
You saw one today? Oh, okay. So, how much are you making now per day?
Sometimes I may not make more than 1,000 because I'm selling something like trousers. So if I can sell, I may sell 1,000 per day, and I may sell more than that. I may sell this one that I'm selling 2,005. I may sell one, I may sell two. But today I sold one of my suits, which I sell 5,000.
Thank you very much. Hello, madam. Right here at Baba Jebu shop, where they do lottery. Oga, me have a market now.
Oh, no market, Jerry, my brother.
No market for Baba Jebu shop?
At all.
Why now?
Because of the situation of the country now.
Madam, well done. How much do they sell this fish?
200.
200. This one, all this one now. How many for 200?
4.
4 for 200. But like before, how much have you buy for? Or for that 200, how many fish you go give me?
Nah, 3.
Eh?
3.
Madam, how market now?
Oh, fine, sir. Thank you.
Market they move?
We thank God, the small.
Okay, the thing they move small.
Yes, sir.
How much the carrots?
100 naira.
Okay, what about the cucumber?
How about the one of 150, 100, 80 naira.
But are you seeing customers at all?
We thank God they are coming few.
How much are you making now and before?
Nah, okay. We are just managing now, not as before.
I can see that you are here to fix your shoe. How much is it charging you?
100 naira is charging me 100 naira. So fix that. So
15 naira. 15 naira.
15 naira. Okay, 15 naira.
Okay, so but how much I used to pay before?
20 naira. I used to pay 20 naira before, but now it's charging me 15 naira.
Okay, why they charge 15 naira now?
This is what I bought, that is why.
How much did you buy this your earpiece?
I buy it 200 naira.
How much were you buying before?
We are buying it 100 naira.
Before?
Yes, yes. 100 naira. Later, the earpiece turned to 150, now 200.
How much be this, the record of this rice? This one where they touch?
It's 220 now.
This one, call? 250. What is the difference?
This is a Rosso, this is a Greek.
So how much they sell the Rika?
This one is 220, this one is 250. But before we are selling two of them to 200.
Market they move?
Market did not move like before zone.
How much be a bag of rice now?
A bag of rice is 16,000 now.
For this one?
Yes.
What about that one?
16,500.
Did they see customer?
Customer no they come like before.
Customer they come like before, like how much you don't make now?
Since morning we are done there, I don't sell like 5,000.
How much be this one?
This one 200 naira.
It's 200 naira if I won't buy them. How much they sell them before?
100 naira.
100 naira. So the thing don't cost now?
Now it don't cost.
Now it don't cost. Why it cost now?
I don't know why it don't cost now.
You don't know why it costs. So boy, you feel dash me? You feel dash me? Well, very interesting right here on the street. Let's go more to talk to more people. How can you describe things in the market at the moment?
Everything is on the high cost. People are crying. No, many people can't even afford to buy food for their family. Yeah.
So like how much do you use to cook a pot of stew now?
A pot of stew, before you can use 1,000 to make a pot of stew. You'll be comfortable. But now, 2,500 is not even okay. How much will you buy ororo? How much will you buy tomatoes? Tomatoes are very dear, pepper. Everything is just there. I don't know. I don't just understand.
Madam, how market now?
I thank God.
So how much do you sell this one now?
150.
If I want to buy this one, 150. But before, how much do they sell them?
Before 100 naira, 50 naira.
Okay. So what market they move?
No market.
Why no market now?
We are not because of this country.
So you know they see customer like before?
Money no day at all. Many people then they talk say no money.
Like how much you don't make today now?
Before I they make like this time they make 10,000 but now na 3,000 since morning I dey here.
Madam, market they go?
Market no go.
Why market no go?
Everything is too cost.
Oh, everything cost?
It's too cost.
How much do they sell one big fish now?
It's 1,000.
People they come buy them?
They come small.
But like before, how much do they make per day?
Before they sell plenty before, but now there is no market again.
So how much they carry go home now?
Now they carry 1,000 go home. They spend transport money 500 naira a day.
So as people know they come buy, the fish they die?
They die, plenty die.
This is what we call locust bean. Madam, how much is this one now?
50 naira.
Okay, how much can you buy this before?
Before it used to be 20 naira.
Okay, and you are okay buying it with that price?
There's no option. You have to, since you make use of it on a daily basis, or you like it in your cooking, you have to buy it.
Madam, how market?
I thank God.
Markets they move?
Dear.
They move small, babe. So if I want to buy this one, how much they sell this vegetable?
100 naira.
Before, how much you go sell them?
20 naira.
From 100 naira to 20 naira. Now you increase them?
No.
Now who can increase them?
No rain for village now. This one a village one, correct one.
This one a village one. Yes. So now you make come cost like that.
Yes.
So Oga market now.
Thank God, sir.
You know even on Jen, what's happening?
I just took the light now.
They don't take the lights. Okay. Market they move.
Thank God.
They move where?
Not that well, but at least we thank God, sir.
They make money.
something like that.
Ah, that's good. Nice one. So like how much do they make now per day?
It depends. There's no exact this thing. What I sell every day, but at least sometimes 7, 10. Worst is 5.
You be correct guy now. They make money well. Sure you go give me part of that money.
No, Nigeria.
You want this stage?
Nigeria.
You don't give me.
No.
Boy, they make money now.
We're trying to be working hard now, just like President said we are lazy, so we are trying to do something, not to be that.
We shall Thank you very much. Madam, how market now?
Fine, thank you, sir.
You dey sell well?
There's no market though.
Why no market now?
We don't even know, no money for outside, that is why. Everywhere just dry, you see us everywhere is. Everybody just sit and look this market, no customer, no money, nothing.
So that means say they really make money like that before?
At all, but we pray, may the thing they go well because we don't want it like this at all.
I can see you're selling good shoes here. Okay, how much is this one? If I want to buy this size 42, okay. This is 42?
It's 42, yes.
Okay, how much is this if you want to sell?
We are selling for 5.
4-5?
Yes.
But before, how much will I buy this?
Before, we normally sell like 3,000.
Okay, you have to come out a bit.
Before, we sell like 3,500.
With this, for this one?
Yeah.
But now is 4-5?
Yes, we sell 4-5.
Okay, I can see you have wonderful accessories here. Yes. So, how is market generally?
We thank God, but not really. It's not like it was not like before. Yeah.
So how much are you making like per day now?
I can't really say. It depends. No weekend market move than during the week. So that's what I can say. But it depends.
Thank you. How much is it selling this for you now?
6,000 naira.
6,000. Will you buy this for 6,000?
I can't buy it.
Why?
It's too expensive.
Okay, so like how much will you buy it?
Though I can't buy 2 or 2,500.
Are you sure that he's going to sell this for you at that price?
I'm not sure, but if he can't sell it, I will go.
I just want to talk about Nigeria. Nigeria suffers too much.
You're suffering?
Yeah.
If you're suffering and you're looking at reports like this?
No, not.
I want the camera to take
try to understand everything about rice, everything, of course. Sure you understand. Nothing Nigeria.
But you're not looking like someone that's suffering.
Really?
Yeah.
No, maybe because of my body. Yeah.
So what do you want the government to do now?
Government to help poor people.
There is no profit in everything because market is too cost now.
You don't look like person when they see profit now. As you fat like this.
My husband, they feed me. Oh.
You sure say my husband they feed you?
Yes.
You know they make money like this?
That profit is too small.
Is it because you know they make too much money as they add money to waiting government to add money to?
No, it's not because of that. Everything is too cost. If you buy something like 15,000 and maybe 200 naira profit, it's too small. There is no profit on it.
The people, giving voice to the voiceless.
Well, all work and no food makes Emmanuel a dull boy. Well, I'm here to eat. This is my own cafeteria, my own mama put. Well, Nigerians, they're talking concerning the situation of things in the markets at the moment. Well, it is expected that the federal government will do the needful, and for market women to make una hear this, that you should not increase what government has not done. Well, till I come here again with another bumper package of your darling program, The People, I remain your indefatigable advocate for the people, Emmanuel Ajayi. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Bye for now. I beg, make I eat my food.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I don't buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will free give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them.
to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
In edition of your program, Southern Report.
Nigerians have
the money we are supposed to use for this time.
Hello, our esteemed viewers, and welcome to another edition of your darling program, Southern Report, the program which brings to you happenings across the South, Southeast, and the Southwestern region of our country, Nigeria. My name is Rashid, and I want to say Ramadan Mubarak to our Muslim faithful. Welcome to another exciting edition. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. We take this from Ekiti. After their first hit at a bank in Ifakekiti, which left one policeman dead, daredevil armed robbers made another onslaught on Ilawe Ekiti over the week, attacking another bank, and this time around, killing 2 people.
The incident, which happened on Tuesday at about noon, left 2 people dead. A policeman who is the aide-de-camp to the executive chairman of Ekiti Southwest local government area, and a banker. The executive chairman of Ekiti Southwest local government said the robbery was carefully planned and executed in a manner that made it difficult for security operatives to confront them.
The incident coincided with the arrival of the money. It means if investigation is conducted, certain things will reveal itself. Because I don't know how those people managed to know that the money will be coming on that day. And they will be here waiting for from the information we gathered, the thieves, they are already on ground before the arrival of the money. So when they came, they allowed them to leave. After just 40 minutes of their departure, the execution of the exercise began.
The Alawe of Ilawe Ekiti, whose palace is located beside the bank, condemned the invasion of the bank. He charged the federal government to establish a special police unit for the protection of financial institutions in the country.
There are certain things I will recommend that government should do about the security of lives and property. I want to be specific about the banking sector, our financial institution. There should be properly equipped police to handle security in the banks. Once our financial institutions are not safe, how can we grow the economy? Banks will be folding up, they will be closing their branches because of insecurity. How can the country develop economically?
Effort to get the reaction of the police proved abortive as the Deputy Commissioner of Police in Ekiti State, Usman Yusuf, who led the police team to the bank on Wednesday, declined comments. Ekiti State Police Command also has no substantive police public relations officer. The armed robbers are said to have struck less than 40 hours after a bullion van brought money into the bank.
In Ondo State, as at the last count, over 367,000 voter cards are still with the Independent National Electoral Commission uncollected. You heard me right. Over 367,000 voter cards remain uncollected. The commission is miffed by this development and had to convoke a stakeholders meeting to keep the people abreast of this situation.
Political parties, heads of security agencies, non-governmental organizations and other stakeholders are at this meeting to parley ahead of the 2019 general elections. The resident electoral commissioner, Rufus Akeju, said it is important for key players to participate in the electoral process towards complying with rules and regulations guiding successful polls.
CPR is not a fresh registration exercise, but rather a window of opportunity for the following activities to take place. Registration of those who did not register during the last registration of voters exercise, because they are not of age at that time.
Some of the participants spoke on the essence of the gathering.
Our independents are INEC. Our independents are the police chiefs. Our independents are all security chiefs. So that problem we are facing in this country. If they can be independent to extend that they can enforce law without any fear of favor, we'll be all right for it. That's just the way. And what we have is that we don't have problem. We have political, what we call the mindset is poverty of the mindset. That people now are not stealing. They want to be there at all costs, and they want to collect 5 naira or 10 naira or 500,000 or 50,000 before they can vote, because the current government and the past government are impoverished the people.
The INEC assignment, I will see it as multi-sectoral. It has to do with the security agents. It has to do with them themselves. It has to do with the parties. It has to do with electorates. These basic elements must be considered while they who act as umpire conduct their services at state level. Everybody, they have all their roles to play, and that's why they should work as a team with all these sectors.
Issues relating to voters' inducement and security of core members during elections were also discussed.
After the botched primaries, the All Progressives Congress staged a comeback at the Ekiti State APC primaries. The Minister for Mines and Steel Development and former Governor Kayode Fayemi finally emerged winner in the keenly contested election.
The tight security and other measures put in place contribute to the peaceful conduct of the rescheduled poll. At the end of the exercise, former Governor Kayode Fayemi was announced winner by the Tankwal Makura-led committee.
Primary election held today, Saturday, 12th of May 2018, do hereby declare that Fayemi John Kayode having scored the highest number of votes among the 33 aspirants and having satisfied the requirements of the guidelines and APC Constitution, is hereby declared as the winner of the Ekiti APC governorship primary election, dated today, 12th.
The standard bearer, Kayode Fayemi, promised to work for the party as he seeks the support of his co-contestant.
Co-contestants in this primary election, I plead that we put our differences aside and work together as one strong and indivisible party for success in the upcoming general election. Your Excellency, let me finally say a word to my own Ekiti people. Most of you are likely to wake up to these news when they wake up in the morning. In accepting this onerous responsibility of being my party's gubernatorial candidate in the July 14 election, I want you, Ekiti people, to rest assured that I am not on any vengeance mission.
Other aspirants accept the result, promising to support Fayemi.
I don't have any reason not to accept it. I don't have any reason not to accept it. Okay? Will support the party's candidate. Okay?
But I've studied this election, and I think what I've thought I saw is what happened today. So I congratulate Dr. Kayode Fayemi, and I would pray that every one of us will rally around and ensure that the APC wins during the general election on the 14th of July.
With the APC primary done and dusted, is said between Olushola Eleka of the PD, Kayode Fayemi of the APC, another governorship candidate July 14th.
The crisis rocking the Imo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, which emanated from its World Congresses, took a new twist over the week. After claiming that no World Congress was held, Governor Rochas Okorocha and his supporters also boycotted the local government Congress.
In Eime Umbano and Isiala Umbano local government area of the Imo State, the All Progressive Congress APC faithful from this local government came out in their numbers to participate in the Congress. Senator Ifeanyi Ararume and other party chieftains expressed joy over the conduct of the exercise.
There is no doubt that the conference has been very, very successful. We're supposed to have finished it before 8:30, but being we are Nigerian African time, that's why we are doing this thing by 9 o'clock. We are so happy. The people are so happy. I think the entire are so happy. They're happy. So I want to congratulate the ESCOs. I want to congratulate the Tabu of Salambano for bringing on board a new ESCO that will stay for the next 4 years.
I'm overwhelmed as a leader in the Salambano local government. I'm overwhelmed by the type of situation that is here today. Everybody has been so peaceful. I was here by 7:10 in the morning to witness the type of Congress we're going to have today. Somehow I was scared a little bit, but to God be the glory, everything has been so peaceful.
All of us, this party belongs to everybody, to all of us. And everybody has to make his or her contribution towards strengthening this our party, so that our party will be in the best position to elect councillors, to elect council chairmen, to elect house members, to elect National Assembly members, to elect governor in this state, and to elect our president in 2019.
Reacting to this development, Governor Rochas Okorocha told his supporters not to worry as the party's National Working Committee will review the decisions of the appeal panel. According to him, any Congress held in the state is an exercise in futility.
There cannot be local government Congress until we have done the World Congress. So you can't count two without counting one. So, but I want to thank you for your patience. I've informed the National Working Committee led by the chairman, John Oyegun, to do the needful and do what is right to avoid any crisis in Imo police pursuit watch.
The governor, however, asked the supporters to remain law-abiding, peaceful, and avoid anything that will bring disorder in the state.
The APC Local Government Congress, however, went well in Abia State.
Obingwa and Aba South Council areas, where CoreTV News crew monitored the conduct of the exercise, voting was through the option A4 system. In other places, the delegate turnout was impressive, while massive security presence was noticed.
I feel elated. I feel happy. I feel peace within me, because you can see the peace that transcends the conduct of the Obingwa local government congresses for APC. And then what you saw today is another manifestation of our presence as a party in Obingwa and Abia State in general. APC is a party that is known for internal democracy.
Officials say collation of results is in progress at local government secretariats of the party as at the time of this report.
It's your program Southern Report coming to you from Core Television. We are going on a very short break and we will be right back with more stories.
Coming together of opportunity, and this is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and CoreTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
You're welcome back. With the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State having their gubernatorial candidates, Other political parties also followed suit in beating the name submission deadline of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, ANRP, also had its primary, producing Reverend Tunde Afe as its standard bearer. Looking at the present composition of Nigeria's political system, some traditional institutions are clamoring for the reintroduction of the House of Chiefs as obtainable in the First Republic. Hear out the thought of Oba Adeyemi Obanlalige, the newly installed Olota of Ota in Ado, the local government area of Ogun State.
This is just the end of the first process. The real work is just beginning. And I want to enjoy all of us. What we've done is good, but then we have to work harder so that our party can eventually win. And we trust God that by the year 2026, Ekiti will become the most desirable state to live in this country. I give you that promise because ANRP will do it. And I want to say that ANRP is starting from Ekiti to set the standard for good governance.
Ahead the September 22nd governorship poll in Osun State, the All Progressives Congress in the state has vowed to leave no stone unturned in coasting to victory. Various stakeholders of the party have started galvanizing the members across the length and breadth of the 31 local government areas of the state.
The essence of Osun Positive Force is to galvanize support for the government of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola and progressive administration of APC. As you know, we are now going to the election session. So the essence of this meeting is to sensitize our members on the need to prepare for the continuity agenda to ensure that the unrivaled development that has occurred under Rauf Aregbesola is continuing.
You can see from the look of things that the party is ready. Anytime, any day, we are ready. All Progressives Congress, we are ready. But we will not leave any stone unturned. Our party is on ground. We are with the people are with us. But that notwithstanding, we need to continue to engage the people, to galvanize them, and to mobilize them. That is the essence of this gathering.
A pan-Yoruba socio-political movement, Yoruba Koya, has added its voice to the continuous call for the restructuring of Nigeria. The group said without restructuring, an end may not be in sight to the myriads of challenges currently experienced in the country.
So we believe the only panacea to end this law of killings and poverty, hunger, and starvation is for the Nigeria to be restructured. The people of Ogun State should have control over the resources in their domain. The people of Anambra should have resources over have control over the resources of in their domain. The Ondo State has the largest deposits of bitumen in Africa. Today, they cannot exploit it without the approval of Abuja. The Ekiti State, only Ekiti in those local government area of Ekiti State, has the highest number, has the deposit of limestone in Africa. There's nothing they can do because Abuja will not allow them. We are here. Like we've been to Lagos State House of Assembly, we've been to Ekiti State House of Assembly, we've been to Ondo State House of Assembly, we've been to Osun State House of Assembly, we've been to Oyo State House. No, we've not been to Oyo. We are here in Ogun because of the death of the speaker.
The annual Ukpe Road race was held in Benin, Edo State capital, last week. Former governor of the state, Adams Oshiomhole, and all the dignitaries participated in the race. Watch to your delight.
The yearly Okpekpe race recorded good participation despite the heavy downpour as Kenyan athletes won the top prizes. Speaking after the race, the governor noted that the state's interest in sustaining the road race is part of the commitment to drive sports development and boost tourism.
Unique. It's the first year where we're running the race in the silver category. Up till now, for the first 5 years, it was in the bronze category of the International Athletics Federation, which means that we have done certain things right to deserve the upgrade. We've maintained certain standards and improved on those standards, and it's maintained its international status. The prize monies have been attractive. The infrastructure has been improved.
On his part, the winner of the grand prize for the male elite category expressed joy while thanking the organizer of the event.
My God, for finishing achievements. Though the course was not easy, but very difficult. Finishing at the last part was really, and the starting point was okay. The finishing part was really it's my first time here.
Commenting on the importance of the race, the Vice Chancellor of Ambrose Ali University stressed that the race provided them the opportunity to consolidate on the reason to join the race in the previous edition.
Continuing with what we did last year, because the fight against poverty has not been won yet. It's just exercise throughout the federation because it was shown live. A lot of people have seen that in ECOWAS, we don't tolerate poverty. That was to tell the whole world that when it comes to poverty, ECOWAS has no tolerance for them anymore.
Former governor of the state, Adams Oshiomhole, expressed delight at the successful hosting of the 2018 edition of the race, noting that the race has brought development to the state by improving the economic well-being of the people.
But I think we must also commend the organizers. I see marked improvement. I see every year they strive to improve on the quality. And the benefit of the community, I believe, is also growing. I mean, if you have more people coming to participate, people are buying one thing or the other. They are selling, people are consuming. The rural economy is improving. But above all, we are reconnecting with the real Nigerians, what are the people I refer to as the often forgotten majority.
Okpekpe race is the only silver label road race in sub-Saharan Africa after being upgraded as a silver label by the International Association of Athletics Federation.
That's the package for this week on your program. Join us next week for another superlative edition of Southern Report. My name is Rashid, and if you want to watch this and catch up with all the older versions, you can always log on to our various social media platforms to catch up, and the handles to our social media platforms are being scrolled on your screen. My name is Rashid, and as I always leave you, I said be good to yourself and be good to the nation, Nigeria. See you next time.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC,
has secured another conviction, this time the former governor of Taraba State, Jolly Nyame, who was convicted on offense bordering on criminal breach of trust. We'll bring you full package on this and some other stories see trending in the legal circle. Welcome. I am Basilo Kafo. Stay tuned for details. An Abuja High Court sitting at Gudu has sentenced the former governor of Taraba State, Jolly Nyame, to 14 years in prison without option of fine. Justice Adebukola Banjoko, while delivering the judgment, said that the judgment will serve as a deterrent to other public officers. The former Taraba State Governor, Jolly Nyame, who was prosecuted for misappropriation of the state funds to the tune of 1.64 billion naira during his tenure between 1999 and 2007, appeared in court along with some of his relatives for judgment in the corruption case against him. In delivering the judgment, the trial judge, Justice Adebukola Banjoko, found the former governor guilty on 27 out of the 41 counts filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. After convicting Nyame, the judge held that based on the testimonies of the witnesses called by EFCC to prove its case against the former governor, that there was a crazy level of corruption during Nyame's tenure as governor of the state. In sentencing the convict, Justice Banjoko held that Nyame will serve 14 years in prison for the offense bordering on criminal breach of trust, 7 years for gratification, 2 years for the offense bordering on misappropriation, and another 5 years, but that it will run concurrently. In the opinion of the judge, the sentence will serve as a deterrent to governors and other public officials who are currently occupying various positions.
It's a long walk to justice. The judgment has demonstrated a show of courage that, and it has sent a very clear signal to the society that corruption does not pay in any way. The judgment, as I told His Lordship, shows the long suffering of His Lordship to have withstood the pressure for more than 11 years. And at the end of the day, at least out of the 41 counts, 27 counts have been shown to have been proven beyond reasonable doubt. And this sends a clear signal to the society that people that are entrusted with our properties, our resources, should take good care of it and should always endeavor to be accountable, should not go on with impunity.
There was a heavy presence of security operatives while the judgment was going on, and after the judge concluded, the convict was seen being taken away in a vehicle belonging to EFCC. Defense counsel was not around for reaction after the judgment, but prosecution counsel provided more insight.
The battle certainly has not been easy. The case has traveled all the way to Supreme Court and has come back. His Lordship rightly mentioned that trial eventually started in 2010 when the charge was filed in 2007. So it certainly has been very tortuous. In the process, we had trial within trial on the statements of the defendants, about 3 statements of the defendants, and the trial within trial spanned more than 3 years. All this shows that the mill of justice grinds slowly but surely.
In proving its case against the former governor, EFCC had called 14 witnesses, while Nyame testified in his defense and called other 3 witnesses.
were arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a 4-count charge in connection with a sum of 700 million naira campaign funds released to the state by the People's Democratic Party headquarters in 2015. The trial judge, Justice Muhammad Shuaibu of the Federal High Court, Kaduna, ordered that they be remanded in prison custody pending hearing on their bail application. Yero has been facing trial by the EFCC since 2016 over 750 million naira 2015 general election campaign fund. Counsel to the accused person, Ustaz Yunus, said the former governor and his lieutenants are innocent while expressing satisfaction with the stand of the courts.
Totally innocent, and the burden is on whoever has brought him to court to prove. The charges were read to them. They all pleaded not guilty. And then the Honorable Learned Trial Judge has adjourned the case to Wednesday, the 6th day of June, 2018.
On his part, counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Joshua Saidi, also said he is comfortable with the ruling.
Well, we just arraigned their defendants, and they pleaded not guilty. It's the issue of conspiracy and then the taking possession of the sum of 700 million naira, which the author have known constitute form part of unlawful activities.
Supporters of the accused persons were outside the court's premises chanting and singing in solidarity of the former governor while the court was in session. The other 3 accused persons, including the former Minister of Power, Nuhu Somowaya, former Secretary to Kaduna State Government, Hamza Dama Awuyi, and the immediate past Chairman of the People's Democratic Party in the state, Haruna Gaya. It will be recalled that the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, last Friday interrogated former Governor of Kaduna State, Ramalan Yero, for 4 hours at the Commission's office in Kaduna. Yero has been facing trial by the Anti-Graft Agency since 2016. The case has been adjourned to Wednesday 6, 2018 for hearing on bail application.
Still on the fight against corruption, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has closed its case against media mogul Raymond Dobesi and his company, Da Investment Limited, after 14th prosecution witness testified against the defendant. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has closed its case against media mogul Raymond Dobesi and his Dark Investment and Holdings Company Limited after the 14th prosecution witness testified against the defendant. An operative of the EFCC, Usman Aliyu, in his testimony narrated to the court the outcome of his analysis of the 2.1 billion naira allegedly paid to Dobesi and his company by the Office of the National Security Advisor in 2015 and how the businessman spent the money on personal affairs. The witness was led in evidence by prosecuting counsel Oluwaleke Atolabe and was later cross-examined by the lead defense counsel Kanu Agabi. Shortly after the witness was cross-examined, Atolabe told the trial judge, Jose John Sohu, that the testimony of the witness was the end of the prosecution's case. In response, defense counsel said that he will file a no-case submission on behalf of the defendant. File a no-case submission implies that the defendant won the court to dismiss the charges preferred against them on the grounds that the prosecution has failed to lead any evidence linking them to the alleged crimes. Jose John Sohu, before adjourning the matter, directed the defense lawyers to file their no-case submission within 21 days. The judge also gave the prosecution the same number of days from the day they are served to respond to the defendant's application. He also directed that the defendants will have 14 days to further reply from the day they are served with the prosecution's response to the no-case submission. He then adjourned till October 4 for the adoption of the written addresses by the two sides. EFCC has charged Dobesi and Da Investment with money laundering and procurement fraud involving the sum of 2.1 billion naira, which they allegedly received from the Office of the National Security Advisor between January and March 2015. Dobesi and his company were said to have received the alleged money from Sambo Dasuki as payment for a purported contract on presidential media initiative. The prosecution alleged that Dobesi and his firm received the money to prosecute the People's Democratic Party's 2015 presidential media campaign. The prosecution is also alleging that the payment was in breach of the provisions of the Public Procurement Act, Money Laundering Prohibition Act, and the EFCC Establishment Act. Let's go for a short break, but when we come back, we'll still bring you other reports on the fight against corruption. Stay tuned.
Hi, I am Anita Patrick, host of your program Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory from the Office of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I appeal to all of us citizens, leaders, politicians, and all to support this team to be able to restore the Abuja Master Plan.
To the streets that involves every boy, every girl, every man, every woman, and every youth on the streets, unfolding of happenings in the nation's capital territory.
Our challenge here is kidnapping, and the secret is there. It's a very short journey. You don't have to go as far as Abaji before you know what is happening in Kuji.
All of us, we don't know, in short, we don't know where to put head, because definitely our children, they are hungry.
So join me at this time on CoreTV as we take you on a tour on Nigerian seats of power.
Welcome back. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has closed the defense of the former National Public Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Olisa Metu, on the grounds of diligent prosecution. Justice Okun Abang made the order after prosecution cross-examined Metu's 11th witness in his absence.
When the matter was called, Metu made his way to the dock, but he suddenly collapsed, prompting the court to stand down the case for a few minutes to enable medical personnel to attend to him. When the hearing of the case resumed after the incident, Defense Counsel Emeka Etiaba applied to withdraw as Metu's counsel on the grounds that he will not represent someone who is critically ill. But delivering a short ruling, the trial judge Justice Okun Abang refused to grant the application and lambasted the prosecution counsel Silvanus Tahi for not raising an objection to defense application asking to be allowed to withdraw from the case. He also threatened to strike out the matter if the prosecution does not know what to do in the case.
The situation he is, or he was, I think the medical personnel of this court were alerted and they came to observe his situation. So when, my lord, when the man fell down, the honorable judge had to go back to the chambers and came back to the courtroom around 30 minutes thereafter. And at that point, there were doctors on ground, and I think because the man was kind of complaining or in pains, the doctor had to inform the court that they needed to evacuate him to the hospital. So when I was asked if I was opposed to what the medical doctor said, of course, as a prosecutor, I owe this trial the highest sense of responsibility as a prosecutor. The Administration of Criminal Justice Act is clear. A defendant can only stand trial while he's before the court. Now, if the medical personnel had said or given an opinion to the Honorable Court that he needed to be evacuated to the hospital, and I'm asked to comment, what would I say naturally? Going by the law, I would have to say I'm not opposed. More so that the case is adjourned for tomorrow. So my view is that they can go and check him. We come back tomorrow. We continue with the trial.
After the judge left the courtroom, Metu was seen lying motionless on the ground as some medical personnel and his relatives attended to him.
Said to the court, at this point, I will withdraw from this trial because I cannot be representing a man whose health status I don't know. I don't know whether he's alive or he's dead. And when I informed the court, because it wasn't an application I made before court, when I informed the court now ruled that I will not withdraw, that I must go on with the matter. Of course, it's not for me to tell the court that I don't accept what the court has ruled on. But the curious thing is that apart from recording that I was withdrawing from that matter, nothing else I said was recorded. You journalists, you were there. And he said he was not going to record me. And I agreed, I'm not the court. And then when the medical personnel, a medical doctor under the employ of the Federal High Court, had an opinion to air that Chief Olisa Metu needs urgent medical attention, the court sought the opinion of the prosecutor. Prosecutor said he was not opposing it.
Justice Abang had previously dismissed Metu's applications, asking for the release of his international passport to enable him travel to the United Kingdom for medical treatment.
The trial of former National Public Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Olisa Metu, continued in line with the order of court for him to be tried in his absence. But when the hearing in the case resumed, the defendant's legal team, led by Onyechi Ikpeazu, was not present in court. After Metu's 11th witness concluded testimony in his absence, the prosecution asked the trial judge, Justice Okon Abang, to use his inherent power in line with Section 166 of the Constitution to order for the closure of Metu's defense on the grounds that the defendant has not been diligent in defending his trial.
The counsel representing him was not in court yesterday, even though when the case came up on Wednesday, at the instance of counsel to the first defendant, he requested that the case be stood down for 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday to enable him finish from the Supreme Court. We were in court, waited till 1:30 when the court came in, and there was no indication they were in court. We, on our own, applied that the case be stood down, but the court decided to adjourn it for today. Here we are today, the case came up. There's no representation for the first defendant. And going by the law, I had to apply to the Honorable Court to proceed with the trial because counsel, by virtue of Section 348, subsection 7 and 8 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, is required to write to the Honorable Court explaining his absence. Or if he is withdrawing, he is required to file a notice of withdrawal within 3 days before the hearing, which was not done. So we believe their absence in court was deliberate, it was willful, and aimed at tying down the wheels of justice, which we urge the court to resist and proceed with the case. The court agreed.
The counsel representing Metu's company, Destra Investment Limited, Tochukwu Onwubufo, objected to granting of the application, but Justice Abang, in a ruling, held that the defendant would have himself to be blamed by engaging lawyers that abandoned proceedings without the leave of court.
In the court today, 3 issues arose. First issue is the absence of counsel for the first defendant, who was not present in court. And the issue arises whether the court can go on in absence of that counsel. The court ruled that it can go on in absence of the counsel, even when the counsel is not present in the court, notwithstanding the fact that the first defendant is not in court, and foreclosing the counsel from proceeding seem to have violated the fundamental rights of the first defendant.
In line with the order of the court, a representative of the channel's television appeared before the judge to explain why the station allegedly aired prejudicial statement on the case currently pending before the court.
This is a matter that is before a court of law, and I can't go beyond that at the moment.
The matter has now been adjourned till July 2nd and 3rd for second defendant, that is Metu's company, to open its defense and for the recorded channel's TV Sunrise program to be played in the open court. Let's go on another short break, but when we come back, we'll take you to the final laps of this program. Don't go away.
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion. Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I am about force.
Now, you see, let me
say
this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues.
A cross-section of lawyers and human rights activists have rated President Muhammadu Buhari's administration below average in terms of respect for fundamental human rights of the citizens. within 3 years of his reign. Although government officials have exonerated this administration of any right abuse, saying that the administration respects human rights.
President Muhammadu Buhari came into power under the platform of All Progressive Congress in 2015 with a lot of promises, including protection of human rights. Shortly after the president assumed office, a lot of prominent individuals were arrested on allegations of corruption. Many analysts have berated Buhari administration for not obeying court judgments in the case of former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki and the leader of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, Ibrahim El-Zazaki, who are still in detention after separate courts made rulings in their favor. This has sparked off protests, resulting to violent clashes between protesters and police operatives in what human rights activists describe as extrajudicial killings allegedly carried out by armed security personnel.
Freedom of our leader, who has been kept under illegal detention for more than 2 years, despite court judgment, court order the federal government to free him within 45 days. But today is 108 months. The government is keeping mute and is keeping him with life-threatening injury. One of his eye is already blind and the other one is at the verge. And the doctors has requested that the government should free him.
Still on human rights issues under Buhari's 3 years reign, the Amnesty International in its latest report accused Nigerian soldiers and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force in the northeast of raping women and girls at the internally displaced persons camps. A legal practitioner, Hamid Jimo, and president of Global Amnesty Watch shared their views on the issue.
There are some law enforcement agencies that are carrying out, functions in violation of human rights. We have a lot of allegations, complaints against the Nigerian police force. And we lawyers in practice too. Lawyers too have been intimidated, threatened. On several occasions, some policemen have threatened even me myself that they will put me in cell.
Arbitrary detentions are wrong. I think detentions in mass camps that we've seen in the Jiva barracks, for example, is not helpful. It's radicalizing people. However, it's very complicated to set up and administer a mechanism where you can take people out of detention because of the reasons that I mentioned, that you see young kids and women that normally are not combatants on a battlefield here on the battlefield, but something has to be done with that. Probably, one suggestion would be that the international community funds a detention center that is under international, rules, regulations, and functioning under international law.
Government authorities, on the other hand, have debunked the alleged rights violation, insisting that the present administration respects rule of law.
I'm glad to inform the public of this gesture, the first of its kind in Nigeria, coming from President Muhammadu Buhari, which is confirming his commitment to the rule of law, upholding justice and respecting human rights.
As Nigerians continue to celebrate Democracy Day, authorities have been asked to protect the rights of every citizen in the country, as enshrined in the Constitution. Since the Amnesty International released its report accusing soldiers and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force in the northeast of raping women and girls at the internally displaced persons camp, there have been protests and accusations against the International Human Rights Organization. This time, a coalition of civil society organizations has described the report as a calculated attempt to undermine the efforts of the Nigerian military in the war against Boko Haram, threatening to drag the organization to International Criminal Court.
Coalition has credibly evidenced that confirmed Amnesty International